there's another question here, which deals with the differences that separate people. It seems that the differences between people stem from operating from different energy fields that are incompatible. For instance, a person singing the new song will be attuned to a vortex of energy that is different from that of someone singing the hue or the or chanting the hue or the sounds. And from these different fields of energy stem all the ideas and the opinions and the resultant confusion in the physical and psychic realms. So what can you say about this, and how can the different energy fields from which people operate be harmonized for the good of the all-natural environment?
That's very simple, and that is that with the new noun is simply recognizing the isness life is. In other words, recognizing what life already is, and not in reference to your physical personal reality, which it does include, okay, but it's like you have a body, and you have feet, you have legs, you have body, you have head. And so which part of that is really you? Is it all you, or is it just part of you? And you know, like the old saying, oh, he has a good head on his shoulders. So does that mean the person's just a head? And what about the rest of him? Does he have good shoulders? Does he have a good rear end? Does he have good feet? Does he have good soles on his feet? Okay, that's not referred to, but it's usually, oh, he has a good head on his shoulders. So again, we're all kind of funny here. And it's going to stay funny because everybody has their ideas of things. And again, that's personal choice. It's all fine because that's how it is here. You know, it's like a kindergarten room where all the kids are doing whatever, you know, for the most part, because that's how kids are when they're very, very young. You know, they don't really coordinate themselves in a particular way because they don't see that. They don't see to do that. They don't see to, it's like, oh, let's all get together and do one thing and agree upon it. They don't see that. And that's fine too. And so, again, it's choice. And in the physical sense, in creation, it's a toughie. And so it's not meant that everybody get together and agree, because each person must decide that for themselves. So, you know, realistically, the view is just like the sun shining. You don't have to be concerned. No one has to be concerned about what other people do. You do, but you don't. So again, you don't want your neighbors, you know, throwing mud on your lawn. Of course, there is a concern there. You deal with it. You deal with whatever. But overall, what people do, they do on their own, and you have your own, you might say, journey, etc. And so here with the new presentation, we're just doing the best we can to see who will step up and wants to wake up, but not everybody wants to wake up. So we can't make the world do that, and there's no such thing. And life is what it is, and it's not concerned. There are no concerns with the true reality life is, like the sun shining. There are no concerns. But we have been marketed into the idea that, oh, God has a plan for you, and God loves you, and God's very concerned about what you're doing. But at the same time, you're to fear God and watch out for the lightning bolts and all this other stuff too, okay? And God has his commandments and on and on and on and on, okay? So, and then more ideas are created from that. We see that all over. So again, these are simply choices. And so It takes a lot for each individual to use their free will to decide to see something real through everything and work it from that position. That's huge. Okay, so you cannot really ask people that. You cannot ask children at 5 years old, do you want to drive the car? Do you want to drive the family car? It's not going to work. So again, yes, you talk about vibrations and whatever. Realistically, and energy fields and all that exists in creation. And people have mistaken many of these things, energy fields, healing, and all this, for the reality life is. When it's not, it's a reflection, like in a mirror. When you see the sun reflecting in the mirror, yeah, you're getting some heat off it, but it's not the real heat, and it's not the real light, it's a reflection. So as this reality is what it is, and things do occur in creation, it's really not up or down, but realistically, as they do occur, because of the phenomena, because of the simulator that creation is, it's a simulation of something supposedly real. Again, all these considerations have been created and agreed to that this is the reality life is. And so here lies the confusion, and that is that until people are ready to see what is taking place in creation for exactly what it is and not what they think it is, well, the confusion will continue on, and most people will not agree to see. They don't want to see. Most people don't want to face themselves and what they've created and what they decided. Fine, they don't have to. You know, it's interesting. I'm going to bring in the Queen of Orion here again, and why we confronted all this, simply because of what's taking place on the Earth, your planet Earth. And that is that, you know, everybody has the idea of cause and effect karma. Everybody has that because that's a natural law in creation. There are no laws in the real universes. It's nisness. There's no restrictions. Here we have the idea of the law of cause and effect, karma. And it's just simply cause and effect. It's just automatic. And so the Queenie, you know, through all that she's done for eons, is basically destroy, manipulate, control, etc., and made it look good like the monarchy does here, etc., you know, where they get people to bow and kneel. But mainly it's out of fear. It's all based on fear and control. But it all looks good. But, you know, it's not about looking good. It's about what's real. And so, you know, we wanted a lot of this stuff to stop. Because, again, we have the right to say, hey, stop interfering with my life, okay? If it's just me personally, it's like, stop. I don't want any more chemtrails. I don't want any more of this nonsense. Well, actually, it's gotten worse because maybe the head of the snake is cut off, but the body's still wiggling because everything's on automatic. And so time has come because I've decided, and the boys backed me up, to confront the Queen of Orion, which we did. Because enough's enough. So now your karma's all due right now. So it's not to where you're going to live on through eternity in creation and just keep creating havoc, whatever. We've decided that we don't need you, all right? And so your karma's due. And so just like a person takes out a mortgage on their house and they ain't making the payments, well, all of a sudden the bank comes and says, well, we're taking your house, okay, because you haven't made the payments. And sure, the people are going to yell and scream and plead. It's like, oh, please don't do this, and whatever. But there was a deal made. You know, again, it's cause and effect. And so the same thing with the Queen and many others that we're confronting. Enough's enough. Enough people are being destroyed. And hey, we want to do what we're doing here for a benefit for all. So we're tired of you destroying everything and interfering with what we're doing. So again, it's like the system here that's been created. People interfere with others. Well, then we have the right to interfere too. And just like the money system, they created the money, but you have the right to do whatever you want to. You do have the same right, and they've demonstrated that. So put the Queen in the phantom zone, that's what we call it. Also the King and Inky and his son, he's a knucklehead too. We thought that he would listen. Well, he didn't. And so he's in the phantom zone too. And he's probably going to be there for eternity because, you know, the intent, and it was registered and it was shown to all of the Orions beyond billions, trillions of them, okay, shown to all of them, because it all goes right through them. They're all telepathic. You don't even have to say nothing. They get it right away. To where here, you got to be marketed, you got to do all this funny stuff, and people still don't get it. They get it right away. Okay, they get everything that the Queen did right away. And so it's a very interesting situation, because I wanted to take on the adventure, and it's time to do something, and it is being done. It is being handled, but at the same time, everything's on automatic here. So again, it breaks down the choices, and do people want to see it? Well, her rating with her intent, and Rebazar said, for those that do not want to be taken automatically, it's automatically into the Phantom Zone, they must have at least 51% and above of a, niceness or good attitude. Well, the Queen was like 98% below zero, okay, with her arrogance and her self-love, controlling. This lady is a witch, and beyond that, she's a destroyer, like most of, if not all, politicians, religious leaders, and many of the so-called spiritual masters and whatever. They're destroyers. They tap line everybody. They've been caught up in this. Once they learn to recognize themselves, they'll see it. But until then, this is what it is, and this is what we have to deal with. So this isness, to recognize this and for things to work out accordingly, takes a lot of agreement. And still, the world is still, even with that being done, the Queen out of the way, the mechanics are still in operation. You still have all the minions out there. You still have the chemtrail pilots. You still have the doctors giving vaccines, etc., because they're all on automatic. Everything. That's why they've robotized everything. And it's going to become more so and more so. Cyberspace, robotization, and this is all people have to look forward to, thinking that technology is going to do something for the world. You need a real technology, and you really don't see it here. But again, technology is not needed, but we have to deal with the world as it is. So, yeah, there's a lot to consider, but it's really very simple. Just simply be real with each moment, see what shows up, deal with it. That's the best you can do. Look to the all is, learn to recognize this reality. And at some point, all of a sudden, you may get it. And it's not just the aha moment. No, because it's endless. It's an endless succession, I'll say it this way in the literal sense, an endless succession of nows that are better and better and better, and that's how you see it. So again, until the world or each individual decides to see this, which they basically won't, it's like good luck. And it's not that I have hopes or anything for mankind. That's not the idea. Everybody's making their own decisions. That's just very real. Just like grow up and see what's going on, or don't. And most people don't want to. And these are the so-called professional people of the world that think they know more than life itself. These are the ones that are destroying it happily, unconsciously. And yeah, they're good people. But at the same time, they're agreeing with the demise. It's time to wake up. So this is where a new position, this is what makes sense. Not trying to redo the old systems that are on automatic. This is where we create a new position to focus on that relates to the true reality, where everything here that has been created relates to demise, and simply maybe you get into the astral worlds, into a heavenly place, but you're going to come back because you're still in creation. So you're really going nowhere. You're really absolutely going nowhere. So you think you can escape to the astral or causal realms or whatever, or where the Kalam God is in the mental realms, where there's awesome places, but it's all phenomena. It's not alive. It's just situations that have been created. And so we've all been there many times. The bigger picture is to now you finally have the opportunity to recognize the all is, and it's very, very real. But yeah, that's a huge journey. That's bigger than anything that you've ever known through all the lifetimes that you've been here. And that can be millions. And each lifetime is just a dot. That's all it is. Because it takes a lot. Because the whole of life, there's no end to it. And you really cannot even see it in the sense that you do. Because the senses only pick up phenomena is what they do. And what the scientists supposedly know here, this is just baby brain stuff. Again, we don't need it. it's turning the place, it's turned it into a junkyard of poison. So again, how long and how much does it take for people to wake up? How poisoned and ruined do they have to be? And that's part of the wake up too. It's all okay. So again, yes, there is the other side. Getting back to your question, Charles, yeah, there is the other side to human farming. And you decide what part you want for you, like or dislike, like on Facebook. Yes, thank you for asking.
Okay, Duane, thank you. And yet another question. Well, we know that creation, from the physical to the psychic realms up to the deep dark border, there's this these areas of creation are meant as maybe say a training ground for Utuns to wake up, and we want to think that all the activities in these realms tend towards the supreme good of the Utun that has to wake up. And so, is it not then appropriate that we bless all what is happening in these realms, and even the activities of the gods and all the like? We should just take them as a kind of wake-up call, as stepping stones to waking up. But what I find is that we are concentrating. Maybe we talk about these aids that we have in a kind of would I say derogatory sense, or something that should it not be like a blessing to us that even the gods are there with all their troubles and deceptions and all the restrictions we find here? Should we not just bless everything and be thankful that we have them?
Well, again, it's choice. You can do whatever you like, but it comes to the point to where, as things are constantly being destroyed, yes, that's part of the wake up. And the blessing idea, again, where does that come from? It might come from blast, but like many things. But I would say I'm grateful for what I see. And yes, you might say, thankful and grateful for what is taking place, because it is part of the wake up. But at the same time, I'm not going to constantly agree to it. That becomes the difference, you see? So, yeah, all the lifetimes that we've spent, especially being killed, yeah, we went through those things. And now we can see that, okay, that's part of it. Just like the lion chases the deer, it's all part of it. But at a certain point, as you become more aware, all right, do we want to keep doing the same thing and be, restricted by the same ideas and situations? See, so you have to ask yourself that too, and that's choice. And so, do you? Yes. And so, yes, it's all a wake-up call. The chemtrails, the vaccines, etc. It's all a wake-up call. But when you're personally affected by it, then it becomes a little different. See, when you're sitting there and you're healthy and you're fine, you can say all these things. Well, it's really a blessing, or it's this or that. Well, yeah, in a way it is. There's that side of it. But how long do you want to prolong that idea? Do you want to live for that idea? Or do you want to see that, yes, it has gotten me to this moment, but now it's a new moment, and I'm going to decide to make a better choice? How about that? You see? So, yes, we see these things in comparison. And again, there's no put down or whatever, just simply relating to what's going on in the world. And most people want it to continue. They're agreeable with it. They want the destruction. They want the poison to continue, and it is. So, hey, everybody's happy. So, again, and you can bless it all you want. You can, whatever, feel good about it, and be friends with the people that are running Monsanto and, the governments of the world and etc. You can feel good about it. But the end result will be exactly what is agreed upon and decided. It doesn't mean it's going to get better. It doesn't mean that you're going to feel better, etc. Because it's not about feeling. That's your astral body. It's about seeing and being what makes sense. And I would say it makes sense to let people know what's really going on and to wake up, make better choices, and to be educated about the all is. And so that's the opportunity that we're bringing about. There's no guarantee. We will have, self-sustaining communities and the Vessel Project and whatever, and it starts off with real food, real air, real water, etc. These are the basics here. And then from there, it accelerates with the education, the real education and real guidance we're providing. But again, each person has to decide. Just like in school, those people that decided to excel, they studied, they shoved their noses into the books, they studied, they did the tests, they did extra assignments to do better for themselves. Not everybody will do that. And so again, we see that, it's just like in business. People do businesses, and the big businessmen of the world, they see that, and I've read many of their programs and stuff like that, they see that their failures have led to their success. Yes, it is so. But they don't keep doing the failures. That becomes the difference. They get beyond the failures. Yes, it's all necessary to see all sides of things, and we're seeing it. So how long are we going to stand here and watch the chemtrails every day? Would it make sense to stand there and go, wow, this is really great. These chemtrails have woken me up, Bless the guys that are flying the planes. How many days, weeks, and years are you going to sit there and watch that? How many days are you going to stand there and watch the fires going? It's like, oh, this is all a blessing. I see what's going on now. Or will you step up and really do something? And the best thing that you can do here, the best thing that I know of, is present the new you so people become more aware and they can learn to make better choices. That's the big deal. It's all about choice. So yes, these things do have their place, just like diapers on a baby, but at a certain point, enough, learn to go to the potty by yourself. You see? Comes to that point, doesn't it? So again, it's time for everybody to learn to, take off their diapers and learn to go to the potty by themselves. But the world is still there. It still has its diapers on, and that's what it wants. And all those diapers, they're clogging up everything. And that's the water you drink, the air you breathe, the food you eat. It's all full of diapers. Is that how you want it? Or do you want to make a difference? So again, yes, those things do relate in a certain sense, but after a while, they don't make sense anymore. None of it makes sense. All this self-annihilation that's going on in this world that's so agreed to no longer makes sense. Who will step up and provide something real? Well, we are. We're very real. We're very wonderful. Yes, thank you for asking, Charles.